Hello, hello, hello. How are you all? We are continuing the conversation today regarding Facebook groups. So when should you use them? Like what purpose should you use them for? So for what reason do we want to use them, and when are we actually ready for them? That's what we're going to talk about today. So we're continuing this conversation around Facebook groups. So if you missed yesterday's Facebook Live, good morning, Mary. How are you? Lovely to see you on live. Hello, Sean. How are you going? Hello, Rob. Lovely to see you all jumping in. Thank you for saying hello to Henry. Henry's my little fishy over here that religiously turns up with me every day on our little palm tree sort of cove. That's what we can call it, palm tree cove. Hello, Robin. How are you going? So if you are joining me live, put the palm tree emoji down below. That's our little mascot here for the community that we have here. And if you are, hello, Sandrine. How are you? If you're part of my free Facebook community, Social Media Strategies for Home Business Owners, yes, Mary, comments are back. Put the little fishy down as well. So they've come and they've gone, Mary, and they've come back and then they've gone, and at the moment they're back. Hello, Tamara, how are you? Now, Tamara, you say your name differently. I caught the other day. I say Tamara, you say Tamara. It sounded like you were introducing yourself as Tamara. Is that how you pronounce it? More like you pronounce it? I just want to make sure I get it right. So we are continuing the conversation regarding Facebook groups. I did start the conversation yesterday. If you are not familiar with me, my name is Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain, and we have a community of home-based business owners and entrepreneurs here on this page where we are learning to leverage social media to build our businesses online. So no more, okay, I'm going to have to remember that. It's like an E instead of an A, because it looks like it should say Tamara, but it's more like Tamara. Yeah, very cool. Very suave. No, we don't want to chase anyone about our business to build our business. We want to learn how to use social media to the best of our ability and all the new tools and features that come out regarding social media so we can, have a rocking business. Hello, Glenn. How are you today? So we can get all on this cruise ship and we're all going on one big holiday together and having a fabulous time because we deserve it, because we work hard in running our businesses online. But when we do, we can have automation and we can have, our faces in front of lots of people in the internet land. So good to see that you're well, Glenn. So if you are new to my page, you've never watched a live of mine before, put the word new down below so I can give you a special shout out. And naturally, if you're on the replay, put the word replay down below. It's accents. Okay, yeah, that must be all it is, really, just sort of different pronunciations. I say tomato, you say tomato, I say dance, you say dance. There's all sorts of variations of, certain words and spelling. Rob, we need a bigger one at that growth rate. You mean the cruise ship, Rob? We need a bigger cruise ship? Yeah, I'm not sure we're all going to fit in the swimming pool. We might all drown if we try to put this in the ocean and all jump on it. So we might need a slightly bigger one, I agree, but we'll work it out. It will happen one day. So Facebook groups. Yesterday I started the discussion around, are they worthy? Should you go to the effort of doing Facebook groups? Like, do they really sort of work? And, to create one and keep all the content in there, is it really worth our while? So yesterday we established that depending on a few things, they can be amazing. They can also be not amazing if there's crickets in your group. So there's a lot of groups out there. You might even be in some groups that there's just not much going on. So that's when groups aren't really effective or much fun. I know through running groups myself, I've got really good ones and I've got some not so good ones, but it all comes down to me and the effort that I put into that group. So that's really like, when are you ready for one? You've got to be ready to concentrate on one for starters. So, the effort that you need to put in with your content, those kind of things. So that's definitely one thing to consider, is the time frame, and your time commitment of running a group. So when should we really create a group, is one question. But what kind of groups can we create? So this is wide and varied, but groups can be really good for showcasing information that you just would not on maybe your personal Facebook page, if that's the only place you're at the moment. Or just really direct information, and almost you can sell in a way. So if you're only on a personal Facebook page and you're just doing, like some of you that are we're in the middle of, well, we're not quite at the middle yet, a 14-day Facebook Live video challenge. So for those that really want to conquer, the online world and get on live video, because that's where you need to be. If you're going to build a business through social media, you need to be doing live video. Do we not? Put the word yes down below if you agree. You may not like it, but do you agree? That's just sort of where we need to be. So on a personal Facebook page, we're going to very quickly end up in Facebook jail if we look like we are promoting a business, like outrightly selling on a personal profile. So there are still, admittingly, thousands and thousands and thousands of people getting away with doing wrong posts on social media. Companies are still teaching their people in the home-based business industry to post on social media like 3 times a day, or they've got a weekly strategy, and it might be, well, make sure you've got personal content going up every day, make sure you're telling a story of some sort once a week, and then put up a company post twice a week or something. Like uplines and companies are teaching people in the home-based business industry to do that. Whereas, hopefully you are aware that when you put out company branded pictures, even like with prices on them even, you're outrightly trying to sell something to somebody on your personal profile, which is against Facebook policy, which somewhere down the line, it may not be now because I can't keep up with everybody, but somewhere along the line, they're going to shut down your Facebook page. So that's what we don't want to do. This is where groups come in. So you can create a group for, the products of your company. You can create a group for the business opportunity side of your company. I would not recommend that you blend both in the one group, because there are people that might want to purchase your products from your home-based business that have no interest in going into the business side of things. So don't push the boundaries and annoy them by blending both of those in the one group. It's highly recommended that you have 2 different groups. Now, if you've got 2 different groups, that's 2 different lots of content, admittingly. So this is where groups can be done really well within a company if you've got an upline or somebody that can create the group above you. Now, I've done this for my team and it started really, really well and everyone embraced it. But this is one of the reasons why I went online, is because that was all traditional sort of network marketing, if you like, and the team are all doing traditional network marketing, but we're using Facebook groups. So drop prospects in, and I did videos of all the products and had another one regarding the business opportunity, and I did videos. So there's human element. It's not coming from the company. It's building know, like, and trust and rapport with me as the leader of that team. But as members of the team drop off, the activity in the group drop off, and suddenly you're the only one posting in there, and you're spending all the time and effort in a group pretty much on your own. So you do need people, like not necessarily en masse. You don't need hundreds of people. You really don't need hundreds of people to make a group effective. But you need people to embrace the group and bring other people into the group and make the group attractive for people to want to be in the group. Otherwise, the group, particularly in network marketing, when team members come in and they go. And that's what led me to the online world. So I did it all traditionally. And once I worked out what I was doing, I did really well. And I jumped 4 ranks in 7 months and car qualified and all that kind of stuff. And all these people are coming in and the money's rolling in and everything's really exciting. And then slowly the team sort of drops away for whatever reason. They thought it was going to be easy and it's not. They talked to 2 people. They both said no and went, this business is too hard. All those kind of things. Have you experienced that before? Give me a palm tree down below if that all sort of sounds familiar to you. If you're in the home-based sort of business industry, network marketing, direct sales, MLM, those kind of things. And then sort of things sort of peter off. So with groups, in a home-based business industry, if you can get a leader to create the group so you don't have to, in my case, it didn't exist within our company at the time. So I created it for my team. And that was really good from me going down. But then there's all this other activity happening cross-line and whatever, and everybody's creating their own little groups. So that's not very effective. If at all possible, you really want one group that everybody's feeding off of. So that creates social proof, it creates momentum, there's lots of activity going on. So really assess for yourself, is this something I need to do? Is there something already available above me that I can tap into? If not, can I talk to a leader and get them to create the group and then everyone feeds off it? Because from personal experience of doing it myself, it's a hell of a lot of work, but it only is for you and your team down. So what happens if you don't have a team? So you might want to create a group for showcasing your products, and there might be a special of the month and something like that. So if there's enough in the downline, if there's enough in the team that there's going to be enough people to have the interactivity and the momentum in there, great. But in most people's circumstances, it might only just be you or you and a couple of other people. So you start a group, but you're going to have to create lots of momentum to keep the group going. Are you following along with me here in the difference between whether you need to do it or whether you can feed off somebody else that's already done it? Or whether you can have a conversation with somebody that's higher than you, maybe your upline or your upline's upline, something like that in the home-based business industry, that they can do it and then everyone feeds off it. So you've got a lot of people in there. Rather than just you having a great idea, I'll start a group and I'll get my prospects into the group. But if there's only 4 people in the group and you don't have a lot of prospects going into the group often, what do you think that's going to happen to the group? Does that make sense? So if there's not a lot happening in the group and it's very slow to get people in the group, there's not going to be a lot of activity in the group, there's not going to be a lot of social proof in the group, so the group's not really going to be really effective. Groups work better when there's more people in them, obviously. But it doesn't mean you can't start the wave. If you've got team members, you've got a lot of people that you think are potential customers, then certainly do it. But just assess where you're at in your business, the potential of people that can join that group, and whether it's enough to start now. Maybe not now, but it's certainly something that can be very effective for you in the future. Okay, I hope you're following along with me there. Rob, the group will naturally dissolve because, if you've only got like 5-10 people in a group and there's no extra people sort of joining the group on a regular basis, people aren't going to be interested. The algorithm's going to not work in your favor because people aren't interacting in the group. So even though you're in a group and you can get better exposure and more regularity of people seeing your stuff, you're still relying on Facebook to let people know, that your stuff is there. Mary, you have a group, but nobody interacts in there. However, I see who is seeing my posts. Well, it depends how many people you've got in the group. Some people will just watch, but it really comes down to your content creation as well. And whether it's new and interesting information, if you're going to create a group, bring value to the group. Don't just sell in a group. Don't just make it a one-way street in a group. Yes, you might start a group for products, showcasing products of your home-based business. But all your posts are what's coming up next, the next sale that's coming up. So it's all selling. People won't engage in a group that's all about selling. We've still got to give value, exactly like we do on a business page, like I do. I give value more often than not, and I don't expect anything on a Facebook Live from you guys. I'm just giving value and teaching you things all the time. A group is no different. If it's all selling, if it's all information based, if there's nothing really of value, people won't stick around. So Mary, approximately 80, that's great. You got 80 people in a group. Then what becomes important is, hey Jenny, how are you? Lovely to see you jump on. Is how often are you posting in the group? Is there anything offered in the group? Do you ask any questions in the group to get some interactions? Do you offer a competition in the group? What's going on in there to encourage people to engage? So it really comes down to content creation in a group. I post information about products. It may not be enough, Mary. That may be the reason why you're not getting interaction engagement, because it's just all information based. So we need to have testimonials. We need to have interesting information. We need to, if it's about health and wellness, we should be throwing in there some interesting information about health and wellness. If it's about skincare, we should be throwing in interesting information about how to keep your skin glowing and vibrant and whatever, without being tied to the use of a product. So groups is no different in relation to bringing value. We still need to bring value to get people interested. If it's all just product, selling, company post, meme, product picture, if that's all it is, it's not enough to keep people interested. So I hope that makes sense with the importance of a group. You've still got to give value and interesting information for people to be engaged in a group. And, creating something interesting. So have a look at the free group I have, the social media strategies for home business owners. We're doing a 14-day live video challenge at the moment, and the challenge is being run in the group. And how is the interaction in the group at the moment? It's almost overwhelming for all of us, because we're putting our videos in, we're all watching our own videos, but we're all supporting each other for a common cause, which is what a group does. So it's great for everybody striving for the same thing, giving the same information on the same thing, because it just sort of wouldn't really work here, because there are a lot of people that want to listen to my training that have no interest in the video challenge because they're already rocking it on their Facebook Lives. So you've got to pick your topic, you've got to pick your content and put it in the right place. Sean, bombardment is not fun. Not when it's all selling and not when it's all pictures of products. It's like people all know what the products are called. They already know that. Tell them something they don't know. Give them some value, some training on something that they find interesting. That's when you're going to engage people. Lisa, what is the group called where I'm doing the video challenge? That's called Social Media Strategies for Home Business Owners. So I'll amend, if you can't find it, I'll amend the description up above, which I often do after I've finished a live, and just put a link to it. So you can just request to join the group, and I'll approve your request. And even if you're not participating in the video challenge, you can go over there and just watch what we're doing and see what people are doing on their videos. Catch my training about what ideas to keep going on with, doing live video. And if you've watched any of my videos, I think I've done videos in there for the last, since we've started the challenge. And it's interesting because now all these little tidbits of information about basic Facebook not advertising, but using Facebook and tools to make your lives better is all coming up now. So there's extra training. So for people that aren't even on the video challenge, if they listen to those videos of mine, they're getting extra little bits of training and tools about how to use Facebook, and particularly Facebook Live. So it's interesting information, and you're learning, and it's happening accidentally. Like, it's like, oh guys, you should be aware of this, and if you want to achieve this, do this, and I'm teaching you all these extra little things accidentally, But it's bringing value to you guys to do better videos, and everyone can benefit from that. So if you're always learning sort of new things, then it's going to keep people interested and engaged. I post games with a prize as a reward for those that play along. Interaction posts that I have nothing. I'll see if I can open that up. Oops. No, I can't open that up, Mary, but I'll go and read it after the live and sort of answer that for you. But those kind of things, games, things like that, if people aren't participating in things like that, it means that they're not engaged in the group. So, maybe it's time to mix up the content, do something different, or more importantly, give more value first. People want to know that you care before they're going to care. So when they know that you care about their health or their skin or their travel or their, whatever your business is connected to, and that you're giving value in those areas in different way with different information, then they'll take more notice of the other posts where you're actually promoting a product, or, you've got testimonials going in there regularly and you're showing people these products are amazing for this reason. So you really need to be very aware of what content you're putting in the group for a group to work. If it's all one-sided, it's just all information-based, and there's not a lot of value going in there, the group will probably die, a slow death. So, something very wary to be aware of. So that could be a product-based group. You could have a business opportunity group where, you share information from other people about what the business has done for them. So continual sort of testimonials and information, and then jump in every now and again and highlight the purpose of having a home-based business rather than being a slave to 9 to 5. So keep sort of adding the value in there. You might have a group for, your home-based business team. So that group might be just about information between you guys about what's going on. Like, groups are great for sort of that purpose as well. Or like, I have a group for my course, Build Your Brand on Facebook, and I run that in a Facebook group. So the only people allowed in that group that are in the course, and it's all about branding yourself online. So it's for a specific purpose, just for those people. So that's where, groups, and I can do training in there and jump in live in there and go, oh, hey, I noticed your question. Here's the answer to that. So it's for a very specific purpose, and that's when groups can be great. But really, at the end of the day, you've just got to make sure it's not all just information based, and that you have got that value still going in there. Your whole online success will depend on giving value to other people and not leading with the wallet. On a business page, in a group, anywhere, personal page, you've got to lead with value and not with your wallet. Yes, you might be doing it because somewhere along the line you want to build your business on social media and get sales and whatever, but you've got to build the rapport first. You've got to build the trust first. You've got to give the value first before you want the dollar. So if you start a Facebook group and from word go, you're selling, how's the respect there? Do people really know, like, and trust you yet? Maybe not. Avon, hello, how are you? You're watching in the car between work jobs. Well, it's a good use of time rather than listening to, the radio or something like that. You're learning while you're doing. I do that all the time. I don't know about you guys, but when I drive in the car, I'm always trying to catch up on videos or information or audio books or something like that. I have not listened to the radio in my car for at least, it'll be over 2 years now. And I do not watch TV unless it's with my kids. I just don't. And some people think, well, how do you ever wind down? Good point, and I need to learn to do that a bit better. I will admit that's a downfall, of mine. But that's what keeps me new and fresh and learning stuff all the time and being a better version of myself, is when I'm exposing myself to different new ideas and, valuable sort of information. Now, I want to move on to, so there's different reasons why you would start a group, product, alert there, business opportunity, for a specific purpose, like a challenge. I mean, you could start a Facebook group just for, a challenge. I do other training in there and whatever. I didn't want to start another group. I've got enough groups going on. That's the other thing. You got to manage, your time. I don't either, Helen. Self-development, Rob said. Absolutely. Always, developing ourselves. And you don't know what you don't know. So you don't necessarily know how to be a better version until you listen to other stuff that makes you go, I'd never thought about that before. Or that's a really good hack, that when I'm really being down on myself, I could actually think about that a little bit differently and whatever. Those little tidbits of information that you catch because you're doing personal development instead of listening to the radio can change your life. But that's up to you. That's up to every one of us, what's important to us regarding, what we're learning and what we're absorbing. And a lot of people absorb a lot of junk. A lot of people absorb a lot of crap on Facebook, on TV, on radio, and it just doesn't leave room for personal development. But each to their own. I know what I want to be doing, and I know a lot of you and what you're doing. And there's a lot of you on here that are participating on the video challenge, and you wouldn't be doing that unless you were, interested in bettering yourself. Got to drive now, so can't type. You get off your phone, Yvonne. You can listen, but you're not allowed to touch the screen. You have a great day too. Okay. The other thing is when. So you've got an idea for a group. When do you start it? And I'm going to go further into this in January and February, where I'm doing special training in my new sort of private coaching group about how you actually start a successful group or resurrect a dead group. So I'm going to give you more specific ideas. So one day you might start your own group and you're going to be set up for success. Or if you've got a group now and it's just not working, that I'll give you some more specific information regarding how you can actually resurrect the group, okay? But when you do it, it really depends on the purpose of what you are creating the group for and numbers. So as I mentioned earlier, you don't want to create a group by just creating a group, a name and whatever, and then you invite people to it like every sort of now and again. If you want to create a group, you have a whole lead up to creating a group. You hopefully get a whole lot of people interested in joining the group, so you get an influx of people in at the same time. If it's like a product group or something like that, you let people know, I'm creating a group where I'm going to have a whole lot of information. Are you happy for me to add you to it when it's created? Get a list of people in advance that you can add to the group. So there's at least, 20 or 10 or 20 people in the group, or just get your friends and family in it or something. Get some people in the group before you even start the group. A group with 1 or 2 people is not a good look. And unless you can get some sort of people in it and then create some engagement and interaction from day one, then, it might be difficult to get that group off the ground. So one example I can give you there is my free group, Social Media Strategies for Home Business Owners. I led up to the launch of that group. I just didn't open up the group and said, come and join me. I led up to the opening of that group for about a week and a half. I told you all about it and what I was going to do in it. When I opened the group, I did a special training in that group a day or two after I opened it. I think it was 2 days after, and I did a special group, and I said it on this page, if you want that training, you have to get in the group. So I gave people an incentive to get in the group. So within about a week and a half, there was it almost 200 or over 200 people got in that group very, very quickly. And the reason was because they probably more than likely they wanted the training. I mean, there's people that you trust me anyway. So if I'm creating a group, you'd probably be one part of it because hopefully you know by now that I give lots of good training. So yeah, some of you may join anyway. If I just created a group and said, join me, you probably would have gone over there. But by leading up to it for about a week and a half, creating a special training that I only did over there, promoting it on a particular date. If you get in by then, you can be a founding member, but we've only got 72 hours. And yeah, that was something I learned when I created that group. I didn't realize, which is something I learned. I didn't realize, I thought just once people got in the 72 hours that they became a founding member. But that's not the case. So here's a little pro tip with groups. They actually have to write a special, well, not a special post, they have to write something. So just by adding them doesn't give them founding member status. They actually have to put a post in and say, it's great to be in this group. when they do a post in the group, then they become a founding member. So if you create a group, and the fact that they do give this ability to have founding members now, you want to create the momentum in those 72 hours, get people in a timely manner, get them to comment something so they get the founding member badge. So I didn't know that. I knew about the 72 hours. I didn't know about the comment. So it got to the sort of the third that we're getting near the 72 hours, and I'm like, why has that person got a founding member badge, but that one hasn't? And it was because some people were commenting saying, thanks for adding me to the group. And then they got the founding member badge. But other people just got into the group and liked something. Liking didn't work. And it's like in the last sort of, 12 hours, I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, you actually have to comment in the group to become a founding member. And so everyone was commenting in, and I don't know what went wrong, but some people were commenting in and they still didn't get the badge. And I can't change that. So, if you're going to create a group for a specific purpose and you're trying to create momentum, you don't start the group until you're ready to launch the group. So there's starting the group at the right time. There's launching the group at the right time. What are you doing in the group as soon as you launch it? And yeah, that was frustrating. Did you get that? Did you get the founding member badge, Rob? I can't remember who did and who didn't, but I know that there's some people that follow me all the time that for whatever reason, even though they commented in, they didn't get the founding member badge. So that is something that I'm going to do very differently with my group starting in, oh, you did get it, that's good. In January and February, like my private coaching group that I'm creating, it'll be a monthly training group. I'm not creating it now and just getting it all pretty and ready to go and all the rest of it and then say, okay, you can get in now, because the whole 72-hour thing will be gone. So, if you're creating a group, there's ways to create it sort of successfully. Now, you might create a group that doesn't need that kind of momentum, but that was just an example. Like there was almost 200 people or over 200 people that got in that group in a really short space of time. So, that was awesome. So that's, setting it up for success. And when you've got that many people in there and you're giving value all the time, then people will stay. If you're not giving people what they want, if if I start talking about something completely different than, Facebook and social media and Facebook Live and all that kind of stuff, then they're not going to stay and engage. There will always be people in groups that do not engage. Always. There are always people that will sit back and watch and absorb all the information, but will never, ever, ever comment. So it's almost impossible to have 100% engagement and interaction because human beings don't work like that. So there will be there will be a large proportion of people that just catch the information when they want to. They'll come in and out, but never say a word. So you've got to expect that. You've got to expect that with groups as well. But when you're ready, it really depends on the purpose and the volume. So if the purpose of it is not, it doesn't matter whether it's an influx of people. It's just, you need to create a group and it's going to be based around product and you're just adding people, every now and again to the group. Then, it might be all right to not have that launch and not have, something special and whatever. It really comes down to the purpose of the group, but also think about numbers. Is the purpose of your group revolved around needing some numbers or not? That will tell you whether you're ready to start it, or not. Maybe you've got some great ideas. Hey Jen, how are you, girl? Great to see you jump on. If you know it's a group that you're going to need some interaction and engagement and some numbers, and you need to create a bit of, curiosity, intrigue around it first, then don't start it now. Start it later. You don't need a business page to start a group. You may run a group, you may just be running Facebook Lives and creating curiosity and intrigue from your personal page. But you might say on your personal page, guys, I've got a group where, if you want to know more about the product that I was using then, so let's say you do something, let's say you're in makeup. Here's my, my foundation. and I've done like a demonstration or whatever. Rob and Sean, I can see you doing this. You're kidding. And it's like, if you want to know more about the mineral-based products that I use, just put the comment down below. I've got a group with all that information in it, so it's much better to just go over there and get the information. You can subtly lead people to a group where you've got product information. That's not selling on a personal Facebook page, so it's not going to get you into Facebook jail, and it's a great way to promote a group without even needing a business page, you know, depending on what you're doing on your personal page. But you know, that's where groups are good as well, because you don't want to sell on your personal Facebook page. You take people away to either a business page or a group to give them more specific you know, information. Rob Clark, only on a Friday. What was on a Friday? There's such a delay that sometimes you'll comment in and say something and I don't know what you're commenting about. I'm not sure what you mean by commenting only on a Friday. Sorry, Rob. Yeah, so whether you're ready for it or not is the purpose, the intention. Do you need, the makeup comment, of course. Only makeup on a Friday, not a Saturday night, Rob, a Friday. That's funny. Gee, Rob, I felt left out. Oh, I'm sorry, Glenn. I know you do makeup on a Sunday, don't you? No, just jokes, guys. You know, so it's not only what the purpose of the group is, it's whether you're ready for it, the content that you need to create in it. Is there somebody else, depending on the purpose of it, that is higher above than you, the creator, and you can just feed off them? I know that from personal experience. I created it for my team down, but because the company didn't have anything at the time, and I mean, things changed, and it's like, oh, now you create it when I've done mine. Whereas if I'd had a conversation earlier, you know, maybe we could have fed off, you know, the same group. So you don't want to create a group just for the sake of creating a group. You want to have intention, purpose, strategy, momentum, giving value, excitement, getting engagement. Like, all of those things become really important. And when you do it is whether you need to assess the numbers, what the purpose of it is obviously for, as to whether you need to launch it properly and get an influx of people, or whether it is the kind of group that you just trickle people in because of what it is. It is hard to talk about groups in generally, because there are so many different reasons for groups and how you would structure groups. So I'm trying to get this information across to you by being general, which is actually quite difficult. So I hope you're following along with what I'm trying to, teach you here. Rob, you'll have your own group at this rate, Glenn. So Rob, Sean, and Glenn are going to have their own Facebook group about how to put makeup on. That's funny. Mary, you guys should be using good skincare and taking care of it. So yes, Mary's just letting you know that you guys should be taking care of your skin as much as the females in. I think that's what Mary is trying to sort of get across. But if you want to have a successful group, still lead with value. Glenn's in, bring it on, guys. Still give really good value. Launch a group properly. Have something enticing to when you launch a group. Do it, give a date when you're going to launch it. Do groups properly. Don't just set up a group, and I see this all the time. People just set up a group. They just literally just set up a group and create a group. Don't just set up and create a group, depending on the purpose again though. It really depends what angle you're going. So I probably should stop talking, because I've got all these things going in my head going, well, if it's that group, it's okay. But if it's that kind of group, it's not okay. But hopefully you're following along with me here, is that you've got to have some intention and strategy behind creating a group, not just create a group. Okay, because a group without any interaction or engagement turns into a dead group, and that's a worse look than not having any group at all sometimes. And for those of you that have got groups that are dead, there is the opportunity to resurrect a group. So you don't have to disband it, you don't have to stop it, you just change strategy and your content creation and move forward. Never, ever, ever look back on social media. Just change your strategy and move forward in a different direction, and people will move forward with you. So there is the opportunity to resurrect a dead group. That's training that I'll be doing in my private group next year, okay? Glenn, Mary, have you been in my bathroom? Oh, this is getting funny. So I hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight as to, you know, the purpose that you would create groups, but also the when. Have some thought about when, guys. You don't just want to create a group for the sake of creating a group. There's lots of groups out there, and you don't want a dead group. When you're ready for a group, you want a really good group. And if you don't have to do the work in a home-based business specifically, network marketing, etc., if there is somebody else above you that has a product group from your company or a business opportunity group for your company, feed off their group rather than creating your own. Masses are better than all little individuals doing their own thing. So there's, 10 over here and 50 over here and 100 there, and everybody's got their own little groups going. If you can feed off something that's got a lot of interaction, a lot of engagement, a lot of different testimonials, a lot of different information, that can actually be far more attractive to a prospect of yours to look into and engage with than something that you're trying to create on your own, where you're struggling with having interesting content or having the time to keep up with it, that kind of thing. So really have a think about groups before you create them, okay? So, any other comments regarding groups or questions, put them down below. I will look after the live here and see if there's any sort of specific questions that you've got about groups, because it's probably one of the areas that can go in many different directions depending on what you're trying to achieve with a group. But it's awesome to have you guys here. I really appreciate you interacting with me and the guys talking about skincare and creating a group on skincare. You guys rock. I love you guys. You know that. So I will see you at the same bat time on the same bat channel tomorrow. Bye, guys.